all package showed up. Convenient how it came today, right when I need it. Bluegrass Performance. This is a spring tool, push rods, PAC valve springs, timing chain, the camshaft. Well, I just realized something real sucky, and I got to figure out what to do tomorrow. So here's my new camshaft. We have one large hole in the middle and two small holes on the sides. And on the engine I have 3 holes with a pinhole. I don't know why, maybe it's because it's a mid-year type thing, but I'm gonna call Texas Speed tomorrow and see what I need to do. All right, so I got the cam sprocket at number 6. Our crank should be at 12 o'clock. I went ahead and marked it right there. You can't see it because of the chain guide, so we can't see the dot, which I think you have to pull the oil pump anyways. But if this was to turn 360 degrees, it would put us at 12 o'clock, then another 360 degrees down there. 2 turns here, 1 turn here. Anyways, watch the YouTube video. It says that at 6 o'clock, you'll have number 1, which is this piston here that I have the tool on. And number 6, you'll change those springs because you're at top dead center. That way the valves can't really fall down in the engine. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one, see how easy it is, and I'll report back. All right, so I used the tool and I swapped out the springs on the number 1 cylinder. It kind of threw me for a loop. This was my first time swapping out valve springs, and I thought I saw a video of a guy replace his, and I thought that there was just a groove on the valve, and he had what looked like a C-clip that he just used a magnet and it pulled right out, and that was it. Well, as soon as I started cranking down on the valves, I heard pop pop, and I looked, and it looked like I had a retainer clip that had broke, but I guess I hadn't really realized, but they're split. It's 2 halves, and they're just kind of wedged in there, and so I had to kind of figure those out. And what I ended up having to do is, once I compressed, I had to actually grab one valve with a magnet, pull it out. The other one I had to kind of tug on to get it to pull up. That means there might be some, and that was on the exhaust, so there might be some carbon or some crap. Yeah, it looks nasty in there. It looks really nasty in there. Some carbon buildup or something. That was keeping it from seating, but I used a little assembly lube everywhere and released the springs, and they're seated now. So now I'll be doing cylinder number 6, which is this guy right here. So we're gonna do this, then we're gonna have to turn the crankshaft 90 degrees and then work on the next 2, then the next 2, and so forth until we get them all done. All right, so we got all new PAC springs in. Now we just got to drop in our push rods. All right, so I got the deal with the cam worked out. The problem was I'm just an idiot. So all the writing on the cam with the holes is actually the back of the cam, and had I opened the rest of the bag, I would have saw that I had the 3 bolts on the other side. So anyways, I dropped down the oil pan a little bit, enough to get to the 2 bolts for the pickup tube, pulled the oil pump back off. There it is. And I've got the new timing chain right here. We have our dot here and our dot here, which is the proper alignment. I'm going to remove these 3 bolts, pull the sprocket, remove that chain. At that point, I'm going to then well, I've pulled the rocker arms back off. I should not have put them back on because I need to get tension off the push rods. So we're going to spin the cam, which pushes the lifters up. There's no resistance. And then I've got 2 wooden dowels. They go into the keeper holes. And then we'll remove the cam, put the new one in, and then just put it back together. We'll put the new chain on, oil pump back on, rocker arms back on, seal it all up. Make sure that the oil pan's sealed back up. All right, here's the old camshaft. See, it's got a little discoloration and wear on it. So this part was a little nerve-wracking because I hadn't done this before, but I spun the cam. You can see it kind of pushes all the push rods up. And then these sticks, I wasn't sure if they were big enough, but actually you can't put a stick the complete diameter of that hole, because probably 40% of that crescent's taken up by the lifter. I got the cam back in here. We're at 3 o'clock. The cam's all the way in. That's the new one. Kind of lube these sticks up a little bit. So now that the cam's in, yeah, so you can see it's partially blocked. So the stick's a 5/16. It fits down in the hole. And remove that, a little bit of that old gasket material. Replace that thrust plate with the new one from the GM dealer right there. All right, so we got the new timing chain on. The new retainer plate is behind that, and the camshaft is in. Everything's still lined up, dot to dot. Now time to put the rockers back on, seal everything up, valve covers, timing cover, oil pan, get all that back together, and then it'll be time to reinstall the engine and transmission.